Hi everyone, this is Srinivas Kalyan and I welcome you all to this Python online workshop. In this video, we're going to see Pandas libraries in Python. Panda is a data manipulation tool for Python. The name Panda here is not referencing a panda. The panda means panel data. So what is Panda? In computer programming, Pandas is a software library written for the Python programming language for data manipulation and analysis. In particular, it offers data structure and operations for manipulating numerical tables and time series. And it is an open source software too. So, developer of Panda libraries. Pandas was developed by Wes McKinney and his team. Wes McKinney is an American software developer and a businessman, and he also authored two versions of reference book Python for data analysis. Types of data structures in Pandas. Panda gives two types of different data types: one-dimensional data and multidimensional data. One-dimensional data that we call series and multidimensional data that we call data frames. Let's talk about series. Series object in Panda is one-dimensional labeled array which data of similar or mixed type like string, numbers and etc. In this example, you can see we have two columns. One is with the labels and another one with the marks, which is the user defined list. When we create a series object over the list, it will be where it gives a label based on the index position number. Next, data frame. Data frame is a two-dimensional label data structure with column which contain data of different types. So in this example, you can see we have three columns and three columns have different data types. Let's say first index is by default the Panda libraries will give it, and the fruits and price are which is we defined. And in the fruits section you can see this the data is in a string type and the price they are in an integer type. How to download Panda? Guys, if you followed the same way how I showed you in a previous video to download Python, then this method will definitely work. Open your command prompt and type pip install pandas. Make sure you have internet connection and press the enter. Once the installation is finished, open your Python shell and try to import pandas. If you got no errors, then you have successfully imported pandas. So let's see the functions that are available in pandas that we're going to work on data. First, open your Jupyter notebook. If you want to practice pandas, you better use Jupyter notebook because the output in Jupyter notebook is better than in Python shell. Let's start by importing pandas. I'm importing pandas as PD. So whenever I want to use panda, instead of that I can use PD. Okay, let's run this one. Okay, since we got no errors, that means we successfully imported pandas. So like I told you before, there are two types of data types, series and data frame. So we see series first and then we move to data frame. So let's type series. So there are two ways to create a series object. One is list, another one is dictionary. We first see how to create a series object over list, and then we'll see how to create a series object by using dictionary. So to create a series object over list, we have to create a list first. For that, so this is going to be my list. Let's run this one, and my list is ready. So let's create a series object over this. For create a series object, we need a function called series inside the pandas library, and the s should be a capital S, and inside the bracket we pass our list. So this statement is going to create a series object for me, and I'm going to save this series object into a variable. Let's say s1. It's okay. Now we run this one. So in this output you can see we have the series object. So on the left hand side in the right hand side we have the values on the list, and the left hand side we have its label, its corresponding labels. By default, its corresponding labels will be its index position, which is 1 at 0, 2 at 1, 3 at 2, and 4 at 3, like it. And if the user wants to give it its own label, just like if I want to give one label, one with a label A and two with label B, I just use a keyword called index and I passed it along with our list. Let me show you. So I'm going to use index equal to and the list of labels, which is A, B, C, D. So let's run this one. And you can see in this output the value 0, 1, 2, 3 has been changed as A, B, C, D, which is like, so that's how we change the index, I mean the label for the values. And you should be careful with the length of the index list and the actual list, because if the length is mismatched then it will throw an error. So this is how we create a series object over list. Now we see how to create a series object using dictionary. So to create a series object using dictionary, we first need a dictionary. For that I'm going to create a dictionary which is d equal to, okay, our list is ready. Let's run this. Okay. To create a series object over dictionary is as same as create a series object over list. The only thing is, instead of passing a list, we're going to pass a dictionary. So I'm going to store the series object into a variable s2, and let's create a series object s2 equal to pd.series, and I again telling you that s should be a capital S, and inside here goes our dictionary, and just let's run this one. And yeah, so in this output you can see the series object, and the keys in the dictionary has been considered as a label, and the values in the dictionary has been taken as values in the series object. So this is how series object converts a dictionary into a series object. So, I mean, this is how Panda converts a dictionary into a series object, where the keys has been considered as labels and the values has been taken as values. So this is how we create a series object using dictionary. Okay, let's see how to access a specific value or an element from a series object. So accessing a value from a series object is same as accessing a value from a normal list, but we use index position in list. Here we're going to use its label to accessing it. For example, I'm going to use if I want to access 20, I'm going to use its label B. So I'm going to pass it inside the quotes, but don't forget you have to pass them as string. So now I got 20, and let's see how to store the value into a variable. So here z is my variable, and I'm going to store 10 into an z. So let's run it. So value to put, so I mean z has value 10. Yeah, you can see. So this is how we access a value from a series object. Okay friends, now we see data frames in pandas. Like series, data frames can also be created by either using list or by using dictionaries. So first we will see how to create a data frame by using list. For that we're going to create a list first. So I'm going to use a simple list which I used before for series. let's try to print this. Okay, now our list is ready. So to create a data frame over this list, we're going to use a function inside this Panda module. For that we need the pd dot data frame, and inside the bracket we're going to pass our list. So the D and F should be capital letter. If you use them in a small letter, it will throw an error. And now this statement will give us our data frame, and now we're going to save that into a variable df1. Sorry, I forgot to put one there. Okay, so you can see in the output, which is printed in the form of two-dimensional, more likely a tabular view, where we have a column 0 there. So we haven't specified any column name there, so by default it gives 0 as the column name. So now we create a nested list, and let's see how Panda data frame works on nested list here now. Let's run this one. So nested list is ready. So pass it into a data frame and create a data frame object. Data frame and B. So yes, so in the output you can see the two list inside the list, which is considered as two rows, and each value has been columnized into each column, where the first values has been columnized into a 0th column and second values in the first column based on the index position of the inside list. So there were given a row label which is 0 and 1, and the name which is in 0 1 2 3. Okay, now we will see how to create a dictionary by using how to create a data frame by using dictionaries. So we're going to need a dictionary first. So let me create a dictionary. Okay, in C I have fruits and a list of fruits names there. Why am I using list in the values part is because we're going to need a number of values there, which is a mango, apple, banana, orange. They all which belongs to a key fruit. So let's create another column there. So price for mango, price is 15, and for apple it's 60, and banana it's 20, and orange will be 50. Okay, so let's run this one. Okay, our dictionary is ready. Let's create a data frame. For data frame, same, we're going to use the keyword data frame inside the Panda series, and I'm going to pass the dictionary inside the parentheses. Okay, let's store this data frame into a variable called df. Okay, let's print this one. So we can see the output here in the form of tabular view, where the list has been considered as values, and the keys fruit and price has been considered as the column name, and its value has been considered as columns values. So mango, apple, banana are in the column fruits, and see 50 60 are in the column its prices. The 0 1 2 3 as default labels is given by the Panda. Okay, let's see how to work on with the CSV file by using Panda. The CSV file is nothing but a data collected file where large number of data has been collected and stored in the form of tables, more likely a data frame. And we're going to import the file into this Python environment and going to work on with those data that the file contains. And let me show you the file that I have here. So in my desktop I have cars.csv, and this file contains a small detail about the cars. So I'm going to import those files and make sure that the file and your environment were in the same directory. so that we don't need to use the entire path inside the parenthesis. If they both are in the different directories, but don't worry, use the path, I mean the C colon / the whole path. So here the read underscore CSV file is the keyword which enable us to read the CSV file, and this line will create a object for the CSV file, and we're going to store the object into a variable cars. So let's print it. So this is the data that the CSV file contains, and we're going to work on with those data, and I will show you how to manipulate this data. So I'll show you the first function is head function. So head function will print the first 10, I mean the first 5 value. By default it prints first 5 value. Sum it. Okay, you see from 0 to 4 the first 5 value has been printed, but if you want to get 6 values, 7 or 10, you just pass the count inside the parentheses. Okay, you see I got first 10 values here. Same as like head, there is a function called tail. If you want the the last 5 values, you can use tail, or if you want last 7 or last 6 or last 12, just pass the counts inside the tail function. So I got last 10 values here. So this is how the tail function, the head function and tail function will work. So you can see that by default it prints 5 values, the tail function here. Okay, let's see how to view a specified row data in Panda data frame, a file. So for that we're going to use a function called iLook. So let me show you how to access data in label 29. So here goes a cos object and iLook function, and we're going to use a square brackets here. Careful, we're going to use a square bracket here, and inside the square bracket we just passed its label name, which is 29. Let's run this one. Okay, you can see in the left hand side we have the column names, and in the right hand side we have the values in a row 29 with the columns with it is corresponding values here. Okay, now we see how to access the specified rows and the specified columns by using the same iLook function. So to access specified rows and specified columns, the iLook function, the square bracket, has been divided into 2 parts by using a comma. So in the left hand side we specify the range of rows, like from where to where. So I'm specifying here from row 20 to row 10 to row 20. So where I'm going to access 10 rows. And now when it comes to column, so in Pandas the name unnamed MPG as those are considered as zeros and ones. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the index position. So here MPG is 1, cylinder is 2, and this DSP is 3, like that. So I'm going to try to print values from MPG to AM. So it will be from 1 to 11, I think. Okay, so let's store this value into a variable, say A, and run this one. Now print A. So you see, so we have values from 10 to 20, up to 20, and the columns with MPG2 here. Okay, now we see how to get a specified data based on a conditions. Let me print the file again. Okay, so I'm going to get data where the cycle which is greater than 6. So I'm going to print data where the cycle will be greater than 6. So for that we're going to use a square brackets before the file object, which is called, and inside the bracket specify the column name, which is cycle, and the condition is it's going to greater than 6. The values in the cycle column should be greater than 6. If we run, you can see the first value is false, which is because the value in cycle is lesser than 6 at 0th column. See, so in the fourth one it is true because the value in the fourth column, the fourth row, is greater than, it must be greater than 6, then only it shows 0. Even if the value is equal to 6, but we use the greater than operator here, greater than relation operator here, so it must show you false. Okay, let's try to get only the values which is greater than 6. So we're going to pass the condition inside the car function. So if we run this, we get the value, the whole value with the condition where cycles are greater than 6. So in this cycle column you can see all the values are greater than 6 only. Okay, let's try to use a double condition. Okay, I'm going to try to get data where the column cycle have value greater than 6, and also the column gear have values greater than or equal to 3. So cos, and the column is cycle cyl, and our condition is the values in the column should be greater than 6. So okay, put them into a curly braces in parentheses. So we're going to use a operator here which is AND. So this is an AND operator in pandas. When you use pandas, so this is going to be the AND operator. So our next condition is for gear column. So gear, and it's going where the gear column is going to have values which is greater than or equal to 3. You see, now we got the values where the cycle has value greater than 6 and the gears which have values greater than 3 are equal to 3. So let's change this and use equal to 5, let's say. So you see the only two values got printed, which is because we have only two values where the both conditions are satisfied. So this is one is a pipe operator, same as like a or, it's a pipe symbol which is for or operator. So that's all for pandas. Now there is lot